Chapter 2. Photosynthesis. The algae capture the sun's energy by photosynthesis and store it in organic molecules. Respire. Plants respire in the same way as animals, taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. Dioxide. Plants can absorb carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Vegetation. There is not much vegetation in deserts. Herb. There is a herb garden behind the house. Perennial. These perennials should be planted where they can naturalize. Botany. He was involved in the structural botany. Ecology. I am interested in the ecology of the desert. Ecosystem. Water is the core of a healthy ecosystem. Eco-friendly. Attention to eco-friendly packaging is increasing. Horticulture. Horticulture is the industry and science of plant cultivation. Organism. This insect behaves like a parasite, an organism that lives on or in another organism called a host. Genetics. In genetics, genes were formerly called factors. Mutation. The mutations in plants caused by radiation have been found in experiments. Variation. Variation among dogs is limited to the possible permutations of their genes. Diversity. This place used to be a flourishing forest with regional diversity. Hybridization. Somatic cell hybridization is a very useful technique. Classify. Librarians spend a lot of time classifying books. Reproduce. When they can't reproduce, cancerous cells die off instead of becoming dangerous. Evolve. The developmental history of society tells us that man has evolved from some ancient primates. Fluctuate. The price of vegetables fluctuates seasonally. Reclaim. This land was reclaimed from the sea. Cultivate. The farmer is cultivating his land. Sow. These seeds should be sown in April. Harvest. A good summer harvest is not easy to come by. Pluck. He plucked a rose for his lover. Pick. He picked the watch up from the carpet. Yield. This land yields well. Rear. Most farmers in this area rear sheep. Arable. This area changed quickly from arable land to desert. Plough. The ground was ploughed and planted with corn. Spade. He bought a new spade. Rake. With an ancient, rusty rake, I went to work. Stack. He placed the books in a neat stack. Heap. A heap of old clothes was lying in the corner. Bundle. He collected a bundle of sticks. Bunch. I bought a bunch of lilacs. Vase. This floor makes the vase less valuable. Sunlight. The sunlight was reflected by the water. Short day. Soybean is a typical short day crop. Shade tolerant. He highlighted the importance of shade-tolerant plants in gardens. Fungus. Don't eat that fungus. It might be poisonous. Mold. The walls were black with mold. Pollen. Each spring, pollen from nearby plants is blown into the water. Germinate. Warmth is needed for the seeds to germinate. Seed. The farmers were scattering seeds over the fields. Burgeon. This firm aimed at the burgeoning market for augmented reality games. Bud. The roses are in bud. Flower. Cherry trees flower in the early spring. Blossom. The tree was covered with beautiful pink blossom. Bloom. The apple trees are out of bloom. Scent. The flower scents the air. Aromatic. Aromatic plants are often used in cooking. Ripen. The sun ripens the corn. Fruit. The apple trees fruited early this year. Wither. The grapes withered on the vine. Decompose. You can apply heat to decompose organic compounds. Rot. Rot in the tree trunk caused the tree to fall. Decay. The vegetables have begun to decay. Stale. He always bought 2 loaves of stale bread. Rainforest. The rainforest is being systematically destroyed. Jungle. Tigers are found in the jungle of Asia. Plantation. They work on plantations. Field. The student of the geological class will be out on field exploration for the duration of the school year. Terrace. The terrace channels are convenient for irrigation. Timber. The farmer spent a day in the woods hewing timber. Charcoal. Prepare a fire in a charcoal grill. Log. A log got in his way as he drove. Logo. The letterhead was impressed with the company's logo. Forestry. Mountainous areas covered by forests are the very place for forestry development. Branch. The company's head office is in this city, but it has branches all over the country. Trunk. Can she move that trunk by herself? Bough. The window of her car was broken by a bough during last night's storm. Root. The dog is snuffling around the root of a tree. Hay. Make hay while the sun shines. Straw. This hat is made of straw. Reed. The roof is made of dried reeds. Thorn. She got her finger pricked by a thorn. Weed. The garden is choked with weeds. Grass. The grass was wet with dew. Meadow. The children ran free across the meadow. Lawn. My mother asked me to mow the lawn. Olive. The olive branch is the emblem of peace. Pine. It's a place noted for its pine trees and springs. Vine. The grapes withered on the vine. Violet. The violet is a dainty spring flower. Tulip. She trimmed the stalks of the tulips before putting them in a vase. Mint. We sat in the back row sucking mints. Reef. The ship was wrecked on a reef. Alga. Some of the algae are edible. Enzyme. One enzyme can activate 1,000 of these chemical reactions in an hour. Catalyst. A catalyst is a substance which speeds up a chemical reaction. Release. I released the horse and it ran away. Emission. This conference aims to reduce carbon emissions or greenhouse gas emissions around the world. Absorb. Dry sand absorbs water. Circulation. Sea surface temperatures and atmospheric circulation are strongly coupled. Exceed. The driver exceeds the speed limit. Uptake. The doctor advised me to reduce the salt uptake. Nutrient. The nutrient in the soil acts as a stimulus to growth in plants. Energy. The majority of the energy we consume comes from fossil fuel energy sources. Surroundings. The adaptability of the youth to new surroundings is one of their good qualities. Mechanism. Bones and muscles are parts of the mechanism of the body. Counterbalance. Counterbalance. Their strength in defense counterbalances our strength in attack. Protect. We have to do what it takes to protect our parks and protect our planet for generations to come. Preserve. It is the duty of the police to preserve public order. Conservation. Some accommodation between conservation and tourism is essential. Bushfire. The friendly fallow deer were trapped by a bushfire. Extinguish. They tried every means to extinguish the fire. Destruct. The tape would self-destruct in 20 minutes. Ruin. The storm ruined the crops. Perish. Flowers perish when frost comes. Demolish. The fire demolished the town. Infringe. The press infringed a copyright agreement. Undermine. The constant criticism was beginning to undermine her confidence. Extinction. By 2050, a quarter of the Earth's species could be threatened with extinction. Pattern. Training and education follow different patterns in different regions. Outcome. We are anxiously awaiting the outcome of their discussion. Impact. We are a flash in time, but our impact is forever. Seasonal. The greatest seasonal change on our planet is now underway. Experimental. There is no cure or vaccine, but some patients have been given experimental treatments. Favorable. It's encouraging to receive a favorable report on one study. Productive. Once the plants have produced fruit, they become less productive. Effective. These are effective measures. Efficient. This new copy machine is more efficient than the old one. Considerable. It is a considerable sum of money. Massive. There are massive mineral resources in the west part of China. Immense. They plunged into their work with immense zeal. Maximal. She obtained maximal benefit from the course. Minimal. I stayed with friends, so my expenses were minimal. Optimal. This is the optimal season for the growth of plants.